So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the planning process, or rather encouraging you to start the planning process. So one of the things that I said was that you should have two resumes. One resume for now, how qualified you are now and what you have now, and what you should have when you finish. So what your resume should look like when you finish your academic experience. So that's pretty much your short-term goal. But really, when you start thinking about the whole career management process, you need to think long-term and then work back short-term. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to look out on Indeed, Monster, Career Builder, the Society for Human Resource Management. Look at different job descriptions. Look at the generalist. What does it mean to be an HR manager, an HR director? And then look at specialist positions, training and development, and compensation and benefits, labor relations, employee advocate, recruiting specialists, and what does that career track look like? Think about your priorities, so you should know what your priorities are now. Think about what your priorities might be in 10 years from now, when you might have that higher level position. And think about the constraints that you have. I talked a little bit about that already, so think about your constraints. And then look at what is required in those positions. What are they looking for as far as qualifications go? Not only degree, but also experiences. So thinking about that, then work yourself backwards. So if that's my ideal job, that may not be your ideal organization. So you might be looking for a different, either high money or family friendly. So those are organization as opposed to job. So what is your ideal job? And then working backwards, what job do you need before that job to get to that job? Okay, so what job do you need before that job to get to that job? And then start scripting out what it is you can develop or do, as far as at what point do you need what degree. HR is a fairly competitive field, so you are going to need a master's degree. You're going to need to be certified in order to demonstrate that you are not just qualified for the job, but that you are the most qualified for the job. So degree and certification. Also, what types of experiences, so projects or team-based work groups. What types of, what is it that they're looking for at that level that you need to find an opportunity for? And so when you track that back, that should give you a plan for what you need to do now and what you need to be thinking about doing when you graduate. And so that helps with the career progression. Obviously, you may change your mind. You may get into, say, comp and benefits and decide, this just really isn't for me. I think I want to move over to a different area. Well, one of the consequences of choosing a specialist position is that it's harder to move into a generalist position, and it's harder to move across specialist positions. Why is that? Well, because you're developing knowledge, skills, and abilities in that particular function, and so you've demonstrated a career identity and ability in that particular area. And if you want to move over into a different function or into a generalist, you're actually either going to move laterally, so no increase in income or position, or you're more likely to move down. So you really need to think about that when you're looking for a job early on, because think about it, the job that you are most qualified to do is the job you have, not the one that you want to have. And so when you think about it that way, if you don't know what you want to do, then you need to go for a generalist position, because it's easier to move from a generalist position to a specialist position than it is from a specialist position to a generalist position. So, all right, so what I would really like for you to do is, within this semester, create your career plan, your map. So that will give you targets that you need to hit between now and the time you graduate, and it will help you with focusing on the type of opportunity that you want to look for when you graduate. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know.